Ankur on the call. Hi, Ankur.
Hi, Isha. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
Great.
Everyone.
Yes, so I was just telling you all that, make yourselves comfortable in these session series. Ask questions, understand as much as you can. Ask us questions through the query form if you're not able to address it, throughout the sessions. And try your hands on, internally consult with your team. I know you have got a bazillion things to do, right? And considering it's going to be a start of new session for some of you, Ramzan is also going to begin. So a lot of things are ongoing, but just think of it that you're devoting this particular hour in a week to absorb as much as you can and then have an internal discussion. Then only this is all fruitful, because we have a lot of information, and a lot of things that we hear out every day, but until and unless we try our hands on, we never get an experience of those things. So that's my humble request to you all. And we are going to get started. It's already 4:02. Rohini, can we move to the next slide as I go ahead and introduce everyone to myself and the program? Hi everyone, very good afternoon. Let's get started. I am Isha Porwal and I'm the adoption specialist in Google for Education team. And this is a program series in which we are helping the leadership, the IT team, and the educators to know about the premium features of the license that you have, the Google Workspace for Education license that you have with you all. This is the start session 1 of the IT series. We have 4 sessions planned for you all, one for each week, as I was mentioning, 1.5 hour session. Each of these sessions will also have a quiz at the end, which Ankur and Karant are going to talk more details about. And there's an opportunity for all of you to interact with us and maybe, get some rewards and recognition with some of the things we'll introduce you in a while. But yes, this is the first session. Make most out of it. And with that, let's move to the next slide. Yeah. At Google, learning is central to everything that we do. And at Google for Education, our mission is to transform teaching and learning at scale. And with the IT Educator series, you can expect to get a lot of awareness and support regarding the best security practices and policies to leverage your license, as I've already mentioned to you, right? With that, we'll move to the next slide. Awesome. Now I would like to introduce you to Karant and Ankur. Karant is the customer engineer, education and Chrome enterprise. And we have Ankur, who's the scale customer engineer. Absolutely thankful for both of these people to spend this time with this series for all of us. I know this has been the most requested thing we have been hearing from, educational institutions. And trust me, along with all of you, I am also going to learn a lot. And I have my notes handy with me. I would request all of you also to keep these things handy with you. Take notes and try the hands-on lab experience. With that, lot of things for you awaiting in the session series. And I would like to hand it over to Karant and Ankur to take this session for all of us.
All
Thanks.
right. Thanks, Isha. Thanks. Can you refresh the slides? The slides seems to be a little dated. Yeah, Ankur, perfect. Thank you. Let's get started.
So any one of you, Karant, Ankur, you would like to share your
Ankur, you want to
screens?
share a screen? Yeah, I can share a screen.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Karan.
Perfect. Slideshow. Let's get started. All right, just a few housekeeping. Let's just go to the introduction slide, please. And give me the control. Yeah, perfect. Hey, I'm Karan. I'm the customer engineer for Google Workspace for Education and Chrome Enterprise in India. I've been with Google for almost 2.5 years now, trying to build the Chrome ecosystem and also the Google Workspace for Education in India. Quite passionate about end user computing. All throughout my career, I've spent incredible amount of time on end user computing portfolio itself. Based out of Bangalore for a long time. And I also have my colleague Ankur, who's going to drive today's session. Yeah, over to you, Ankur.
Definitely. Hi, everyone. My name is Ankur. I'm based out of Delhi NCR within India. Right now, I'm working in Google Workspace for Education and Chrome OS team. I've in total 10 years of experience within the SaaS domain, and I'm looking forward to digitizing the classrooms and empowering educators to give them the power of Google Workspace for Education Productivity Suite. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Maybe the second one. Okay. All right. So I know you have all come after your class hours post 4 o'clock. We really wanted to keep this session very interactive. When I say interactive, there is a quiz which happens at the end of the session. The winner of the quiz gets a Google swag, right? So we would want you to be attentive, like the way you tell your students, the questions can come somewhere from in midst of a textbook. The same way questions are somehow picked up from some of the slides here. All right. So to keep you attentive, so we become your teachers now. So we'll just reciprocate our roles at the moment for some time. So quiz winner gets a Google swag, and all through the 4 sessions that we have, there will be a Google winner. So there'll be 4 Google winners. The winners will get swags from us as well. All right. All right. What is about security, right? You could have come with a preconceived notion. What will Karand and Ankur do as part of today's session? But what we have learned from our customers, right? Those 5 colorful-looking cloud-based balloons that you would see, these are all questions asked from our customers, right? In the last 6 months, we have encountered these questions from our customers. So we felt that there cannot be another platform like this one which can help us provide responses, help you clarify the questions or myths that you have in your mind about security. We wanted to use this session as the session to help you break those myths as well, right? I'm going to say these are the exact words we are quoting from our customers, right? In case of an accidental email deletion by a user or by an administrator, is there a way that I can recover these emails, right? It could ring a bell with you as well. Yes, I did face this, but I don't know what to do. How do I get this? That is exactly one of our customers did ask. An accidental deletion of users in Google Groups. That it just happened about 2 weeks, 3 weeks back, where one of our customers said that we deleted the group, but we don't know who deleted the group, right? How can I find out the person who triggered that? I'm seeing an increased spam in our emails domain, right? This is also a very legitimate question that we have heard from a customer saying that there is an increased spam. Karan, I forgot to add an SPF record, right? These are some of the things that they would always encounter. And what are the provisions available for email logs? Karan, I really want to see track the entire life cycle of an email change until unless they go click who has read my email as well, right? That is exactly what we can also look for with our email log search and investigation. And the last but the least is another question which comes to us from our customers. Is there a way that I can bulk delete those emails from multiple inboxes, right? Because I find that email to be very offensive, abusive. Is there a way I can, as an administrator, I'll be able to delete this? Considering this as a foundation, we want to do today's session based on a security theme focused, where we focus on how you can leverage or extrapolate the hidden features of the paid SKUs, which currently I'm just using my Google Workspace for Google Classroom and assignments and nothing beyond it. But this session will uncover all the security stigmas that we try to break when it comes to the paid premium features is what we would cover, right? The next session that what we have is Google's very own low code, no code platform called as AppSheets, where when we presented this to our customers, they always come back, Karan, I never thought creating an application was so easy, right? We did this demo to one of the schools, esteemed schools in India, and they said when we were showing a live demo of doing an IT ticketing tool, they came back to me, Karan, this looks really good. Can I just go get started as well? Because I don't have a mechanism within my school. If somebody says a Chromebook is not working, which is like 1 in a 1 millionth of a case, or somebody needs like a projector within the school, I don't have an IT mechanism to log and serve those requests, right? I don't want to spend in expensive tools like ServiceNow and all of it. Is there a way that I can create all within the ambit of the Google Workspace? That is exactly what we would cover as part of the Google Workspace app sheets that we speak about, right? So that's what you expect, and key takeaways out of your session for the next 1.5 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, followed by is the most interactive quiz. Keep your mobile phones handy, connected to internet, because it's a live interactive quiz that we do. It is similar to what we see in Kaun Banega Crorepati, the fastest finger first, right? The one who answers the first will be the winner, right? And it has to be consistent. It is not that somebody scores 25 out of 25 in test one, and by the time they come to final exams, it becomes 10. No, you need to be always at the forefront of answering those quiz questions as well. There'll be 5 quiz questions, and please note those quiz questions are taken from these slides. Nothing is like out of syllabus, right? So you need to be attentive. You need to ensure that you has the right questions and all of it. I'll be there in the session for some time. I would let Ankur drive the session going forward as well, right? Looking forward for the session. Over to you, Ankur.
Thank you. Thank you, Karan. Once again, hello everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, in different time zones. Uh, so as we were talking about these use cases, so these are the practical use cases that we have received from our customers. Will be again, as Karan said, we'll be focusing on these use cases and how you can leverage the security part of Google Workspace in order to secure your environment, Google Workspace environment, or if in case you have not configured these policies, how you can leverage it in your institution itself. Moving ahead.
Ankur, just a quick thought.
Yeah.
Please note, do not make any changes in your production environment, right? Just wanted to give a word of thought to everyone here. If you're using your production environment, refrain from making any changes to your production environment. You can always do it at a test OU, but we just wanted to caution, like the way how somebody says in an aeroplane, saying that keep your devices in an aeroplane mode and save your work. The same thing applies to here as well. So be very little cautious when you make changes in our admin console. Ensure that it is being done in a test OU and not in a production OU, please, right? So that's a request. So we don't want to be jumping to douse of the fire at the end of this session. So we just want to ensure that our customers have these key takeaways from this session and also be part of the quiz sessions as well. Sorry, Ankur, for the interruption.
No problem, Karant. I was actually about to jump onto that point, and again, just highlighting whatever the configurations we are going to discuss, whatever the settings I'm going to showcase in the demo as well. Feel free to discuss with your management, with your leadership, and if you feel like this particular configuration can be configured within your tenant, feel free to do that. But before that, do not make any changes if somebody has access to their admin environment. With that, I'll move to the next slide. So advanced security and insights capabilities. So with this, as we were talking about the security, so what policies you have configured, how much control you have onto your tenant, how the data flows in and out of your organization, what policies you have configured. All of those comes under the advanced security and insights capabilities. So when I talk about the advanced security, like if you wanted to monitor if any email which is being sent outside the organization, if any email which is circulating within the institution with certain content that should not be shared across the students or the teachers. Apart from that, if there is any document that is being shared externally, but it was a confidential document of the institution itself. So how will you track it down? How will you get to know? What are the alerts that you can generate out of that? And where you will be able to see how many spam emails or phishing emails are coming inside your organization. And based on that, you will be able to take a respective action. So with that, I'll move to the next slide. But these are the key features which we are going to discuss today. I wanted to make the session interactive, so I'm going to ask you questions as well moving forward. So feel free to unmute and just share your insights if somebody has faced similar problem in the past or somebody has these kind of pointers as well. So we'll be discussing about the security dashboard, security health page, how you can leverage the power of investigation tool, which is which help you to discover insights. It helps you to track down a specific event, let it be a Drive event, let it be a Gmail event, or let it be a group event. So all those functionality is actually available within the investigation tool itself. I'm going to make this session as I'll cover a few of the topics, then we are going to jump onto a demo. I'll showcase what are the configurations we are talking about, and then we are going to jump onto the next topic and similar a demo for that. So what exactly is a security dashboard? So before I further proceed, I wanted to ask any one of you can unmute and just answer me. Like, have you ever faced like there should be a pre-populated report or pre-populated dashboards that should be available where we can discover few of the insights of our environment, and based on that we can take preventive measures or we can configure few of the policies. So anyone has ever faced any such scenarios before or plan to if we have these kind of data available, it will be very good for our tenant. Anyone? Oh, great. Like, it's feel free to unmute. Like, it's perfectly fine if you share the insights. It's nothing like right or wrong.
You can type, send emojis, and then put that across.
Yeah, I believe somebody has raised the hand.
Yeah. This is Sarla.
Yeah.
We have faced this problem or facing this problem many times. Means we never thought about a dashboard,
Mhm.
but we always wanted to monitor what kind of, because we provide emails to all the students, and sometimes when it is misused, it is very difficult to track. Going back to the logs, and then even if you go to the audit logs, it won't provide complete information. So tracking the emails sent by the students, and then what are the contents in there, whether it is right content or wrong content, checking that is very very difficult. Most of the times it is impossible.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so for that only, I was talking about these pre-populated kind of dashboards. Thank you, Sarla, for sharing the insights. These kind of dashboards, which are pre-populated, which are available within your Google Workspace tenant, you're able to discover insights related to the email being sent outside the organization, the volume of spam which is coming, landing into the end user mailboxes, any third-party application which the users might be using and granting the OAuth access, any kind of phishing attempt that is being happening onto your tenant. So these are the kind of scenarios, I would say, that constantly happens across multiple institutions slash organizations. So it's a repetitive kind of things. So for that, there is a specific feature, I would say, specific dashboard which is available within Google Workspace, where you can discover the insights. You can view the you can view the logs, to past 180 days, which are readily available. You need not to, create a search criteria and then you need to find out. No, nothing like that. They are the pre-populated dashboards where you get insights of that. There are pre-populated graphs that you can discover, and based on that you can export the data into a Google Sheet as well if you wanted to take further into an audit format. Based on those data, you can definitely suggest few of the configurations, suggest few of the settings that will be helpful for the institution in order to secure the environment. So for example, this is one of the use cases that we have discovered and even Karan discussed at the starting of the session, those bubble points which are directly from our customers. So our customer has even asked us, like, I wanted to take a look at the volume of the spam which is landing within the organization, and based on that I wanted to take preventive measures. So how would you decide how much email is coming? If you go to the spam settings within your Google Workspace, and if you make it as aggressive spam, so it will check each and every email which is landing within the tenant within the organization. We don't want it to do that. We don't want every single email to be marked as spam. We don't want every single email to be suspicious. So how would you decide that? So based on the data, based on the dashboard, based on the reporting that is available, you will be able to take a preventive measure. Moving forward, I will showcase you where these dashboards are available, how you will be able to change the dates, how will you be able to export the data. Everything we are going to cover in the demo itself. I'll move to the next slide. And if somebody has any question, feel free to drop on the chat. Either we are going to take it at the last if the time permits. Otherwise, I'll make sure I'm able to respond it to you guys after the session as well. So these are the dashboard, like how the dashboards actually looks like. So it is available within your admin console. You go to the security settings and it is available as a option as a dashboard. You can populate multiple dashboards, but my suggestion and what I do exactly is I have a go-to dashboards, 6 specific dashboards that are useful to me. Since I'm using a demo environment for myself, but every organization or institution should have a go-to dashboards which are readily available, which is making an impact, which are actually required by the institution. So for example, if you wanted to see how many login challenges happened in the past month, so you should have a ready dashboard for that. How many message deliveries happened within the past 1 month or past 2 months? You should be able to see that. What are the spam filtering settings? Are they working exactly fine? Or how many emails are landing into the spam folder, into the inboxes? Each of that data is pre-populated in the form of dashboards. It is customizable. These are pre-populated, but you can even create a custom dashboard for as per your requirements. I'll move to the next slide. Okay, let's come to the second main pointer. So a lot of times our customer approaches us and wanted to know what exactly is the exact configuration that we should keep for this particular setting. What is the exact recommended configuration from Google? Sometimes it is difficult even for the partner or even from the Google itself to suggest like this is the correct recommended setting. This is something you should keep it for your calendar. This is something you should keep it for your drive. So in order to make sure you have a ready data available for that, Security Health is a kind of a repository where you are able to see uh, the recommendations from Google for most of your configurations which are available within Google Workspace. So if I talk about the calendar sharing policy, what is the recommended setting from Google and what you have configured as of now? So if there is a recommendation required, you will be able to view that. If your configured settings is perfectly fine, it will show you as a green check, like no changes are required. Apart from that, it helps you to gain insights how much configurations or how much settings you need to evaluate in order to change it. One of the important point I would say, there is a possibility that Google might recommend in the recommendation center that this setting should be configured like this. But based on the requirement, maybe it is required to share a calendar outside an organization with one of your client or one of your customers or one of your institutions. So based on that, like once you're aware about what configurations you are made, we are good to go ahead. But we always wanted to make sure that the recommendations you are able to view, you are able to evaluate within your tenants, and then you are able to make the changes. These are the few best practices. So this is the kind of a use case that we encounter, like what point me in a direction of best practices and recommendation on how to set up the security policies. So Security Health is somewhere where you can definitely go. You can evaluate all of your configuration and you can take the recommendations and change the configurations of your tenant itself. What all it offers, Security Health offers you the potential risk that can impact your tenant possibly. It provides you optimal settings that you should be doing to make sure that your tenant is secure. By tenant, I mean your domain is secure. The most interesting part, once it provides you the recommendation, you need not to search for that setting. It gives you a direct link to that particular setting, which is you can navigate directly clicking on that particular link. And at the end, the fourth one is, let's say you're not aware about a specific policy. So it gives you the help articles as well. So you can go through it and you can gather information, you can learn about it and then make the changes. It's not like you simply need to go and make changes. No, you can simply go through the entire support article. You can understand and then make the changes if it is really required within your institution. Whenever you gain access to your Google Workspace for Education tenant, there are few of the configurations which are readily configured by default by Google. Those are the recommended practices, or you can say the checklist that is provided by Google to make sure your tenant is secure. However, later on, once you start evaluating your configurations, you can make the changes. But there are few of the default settings which comes with the tenant itself. I would like to highlight few of the best practices checklists that every institution or organization should update within their institution. Starting with the administrator. Administrator are someone they have the entire access to the complete portal. So we should always ensure that there is a two-step verification or two-factor authorization configured for the administrator accounts. This at least ensures that if somebody is able to crack a password, they are not able to log in into the console because there is a 2FA configured for that. There are multiple two-factor authorizations starting from the OTP, the authenticator apps. Apart from that, passkey. So all those things are available. Based on your choice, you can create the two-step verification for the administrator accounts. I would always recommend that a tenant or an institution or an organization should have at least two administrators, so that in case there is a password issue with one of the administrators, the second one can help them out in order to reset the password much quickly instead of resetting it. Second pointer is related to the accounts. Uh, I would recommend, moving ahead, time to time, there should be an evaluation of the accounts which are existing within your portal. Like, let's say some students have left the school or some new has joined. So you have the data of the accounts of the users which are available within your Google Workspace tenant. It is a valid data. There is none of the user which is not existing and their account is created. So time to time, cleanup activity should happen on your tenant, which should make that your tenant is secure completely. You should always review your third-party app access data, uh, like which app has granted which access to the user profile. For example, some of the app ask for reading the username. Some of the app asks to modify changes within the drive. So what exactly apps have granted access for, that should be evaluated on a timely fashion. Related to calendar and drive, it is always recommended to make sure that external sharing is disabled, or if in case it is enabled, it should be only the free busy information, not more than that. And within the drive, if you have allowed external sharing, that is okay, but it should be into a monitored format. For example, you have disabled external sharing for the entire tenant, but you have actually enabled external sharing only on one of the OU, which is constantly being monitored time to time. Set up authentication and infrastructure, making sure the passwords which the users are using, they are at least into a defined format uh, with the capital letters and the characters, so that it's not that easy to be cracked. And related to the vault, control, audit, and secure vault accounts. So a person who is having access to the Google Vault, it means like he can actually access the emails, drive, and groups data as well. So we should always make sure that the account are secured with two-step verification, and you have proper retention policies configured within your institution. Okay. I'll quickly jump onto the demo. For the two features that we have just discussed, I'll quickly showcase where they are existing and how does it look like. Yeah, please let me know if using a thumbs up live, if you are able to see my screen. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Okay, in order to access the admin console, the URL is admin.google.com, which everyone must be aware, but in case it's a refresher, so admin.google.com is the URL. So first thing I was talking about the dashboard. So I need to go to the security. I'll go quickly to the security center and dashboards. So you will be able to see that this is the pre-populated 6 go-to dashboards that I do have at the moment. These are the dashboards which, according to me, are beneficial for me. Like if there is any suspicious activity of user login attempts, how many spam emails landed into my demo environment, how many external file sharing happened within my demo tenant, and related to the message delivery, how many accepted and how many rejected. And when I say rejected, so is it because of the any policies that you have configured, or was there any suspicious data that Google identified and the mail didn't landed into the end user mailbox? And how many messages were authenticated, and which apps we have granted the OAuth access. So let's say I'll quickly go to the first report. So you click on the view report option. So you're able to see 4 options available. Since this particular dashboard was specifically for suspicious activity, but you do have other options as well. So if you wanted to view the failed login attempts, you will be able to see. And if you wanted to see the successful login attempts, you'll be able to see. And you can see all the events as well into a single dashboard. If I scroll down, you will get the details of those particular users. So let's say I wanted to see the failed login attempt. And if I select yesterday, I'm suspecting you, I'll find, yeah. So even I was the one I was trying to log in. So it was a failed login attempt due to a bad password. So you can definitely track how many login attempt the user faced, if there was a suspicious attempt or not. And you can export the data directly from the graphs, or you can export the data, a detailed export from here as well. Similarly, if I go back, let's say your institution has multiple domains, not one. So I have 2 domains available. So you can view the data for all the domains, or if you wanted to view the domain data for only a single domain, you can segregate from here. You can select a specific domain and you will be able to view the data for that. You can define the date range from today to 180 days, which is 6 months, close to 6 months. So you will be able to see a ready populated dashboards till last 6 months. It is a dashboard which you can, again, if you wanted to see in a percentile format, you can select it from here and you will be able to view the data accordingly. Apart from that, these are the 6 pre-populated dashboards which I have configured for myself. But let's say these are, let's say user login attempt doesn't matter for some of the institution, let's say. So you have other dashboards also available, which you can simply find it over here using this particular icon, and you can add it or remove it based on your requirements itself. So it has a lot of user reports. Since it's my demo environment, I do not have a lot of numbers, but how many spam emails, how many phishing emails are landed into the domain, you will be able to track it from here. So let's say if I go to the report, so not spam, spam and phishing emails. And again, if any of those emails are highlighted, it will be showcased over here into the detailed report. Again, you can segregate using the subject, sender, on what was the domain who sent a spam email or a phishing email. And if it was rejected, what was the reason? And based on that, other attributes are also available. You can export and evaluate the data based on the based on your requirement. Okay. Second thing, I was talking about the security health. So if I quickly click on the security health, which is, again, you go to the admin console, you go to the security, you go to security center and the security health. So these are the recommendation. This is the central space, I will say, where you get the recommendations directly from the Google itself. So for example, calendar sharing policy, disable for the entire organization, which is correctly configured as per the recommendation from Google. If I wanted to see access checker, I have enabled for 2 org units. So you wanted to know which org units you have enabled the access checker configuration. You simply click on that, you will be able to see the OU structure. So this is my root OU. This is another OU where I have configured the access checker configuration. If I click on the star symbol, so I get a recommendation like configure access checker only for the recipients only. And let's say you wanted to learn more about it. So you will be able to navigate to the article as well, the support article. So how will you be able to monitor the health or access checker configuration within your tenant? So you will be able to learn more about it from this article. Apart from that, you can simply see how many configurations within your tenant are configured securely and successfully correct. So you can click on this, you can filter it out the data like this, and you will be able to see that these particular configuration are configured securely. And if you wanted to take a look how many configurations you have a recommendation, you can simply do a filter for that as well. Third part is, let's say you're not worried about all other configurations, but you have you wanted to make sure your Gmail, Drive, and let's say the personal security of your users that is related to the 2-step verifications and all. So you select these, you will be able to only see the configurations related to those applications, which is Gmail, Drive, and your personal security, which are the security 2-step verification, 2-factor authorization, security key related to that. So since you're able to see, I have 2-step verification for admins, and I have few administrators who has not enabled the two-step verification. So these are the recommendation that I get from the Google using the security health page. Once you start making the configurations, you will be able to see that the green check comes automatically. Apart from that, I was highlighting that you need not to navigate to each of the settings. So if I go here and I click on access checker, so it automatically takes me to that particular setting. I need not to go and search for that setting. So this is access checker, and I have configured for target audience, public as well as recipient only. But as per the recommendation, it was told like it should be configured only for the recipient itself. So you need not to navigate to each of the settings. However, you can definitely go to the directly to any of the links, and it will take you to the configurations directly. Okay, coming back. So we have covered dashboard, we have covered security health. Anyone has any concerns, feel free to drop it into the chat and we'll try to cover it up later. Okay. Coming back to the slide once again. Okay, so I was talking about the investigation tools. So this is one of the tool which you can definitely use to identify. You can use to scrutinize any activity, any event that is happening within the institution, and you wanted to take some preventive actions out of that. So investigation tool is one of the tool that you can definitely use. Everyone is able to see my screen, right?
Ankur, can you reshare once because it's not pinned?
Okay, give me a second.
And maybe if you would like to pin yourself and the screen, you have the presenter rights. Thanks.
Let me know if it is visible now. Thank you.
Yes, visible.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I was talking about the investigation tool. So this particular tool you can use to identify, scrutinize any of the activity or events and take a preventive action onto that particular event. Let it be a drive event, let it be an email event, let it be an event related to groups chat. So you will be able to identify that. So there are different kind of use cases. So as we were discussing at the starting, I'll just quickly go back to the slides once. So in case of an accidental email deletion by a user administrator, is there a mechanism for recovering these emails? Or if I read the green bubble cloud, is there a provision for administrator to delete emails from multiple mailboxes in the event of an incorrect email being sent? So these all scenarios come under the investigation tool itself. So few of the use cases I wanted to discuss is like there is a file which is containing abusive material that is being shared internally. So the institution wanted to know or organization wanted to know who created it, when it was created, who shared it, and what further actions can be taken on that particular file. If there is an email that have been sent to the end users which should not have been sent, so we wanted to identify the email is being sent to which person, and if they have responded back to that email, or you can say the thread of those emails, we wanted to identify, and if possible, we wanted to take a preventive actions by deleting those emails without coordinating with the end users. So these are some kind of some of the issues that customers have reported. Apart from that, a lot of times it happens like a phishing or malware emails landed into the end user mailboxes. uh, IT team is able to identify and wanted to take a preventive actions without asking the end users to delete or report those emails. So those emails can be identified using the investigation tool, and that particular email landed into the mailboxes who have read that email, and what preventive actions you can take. For example, you wanted to delete that email, that is possible using the investigation tool itself. Once you have identified the email, let's say you wanted to know the content of that email as well, you wanted to gain deeper insights of that email, you get this functionality within the investigation tool that you will be able to read that particular email itself. Again, this is available, but this is not something you click on that particular log and you are able to see. So there is a log that gets tracked, and you are able to you have to report why you are actually getting into this particular action, and you report that particular log, and it is recorded into the reporting section as well, that this particular admin has read that email. So it's another step of security to make sure that the IT admins doesn't read everybody's email. It's only in the case where their auditing is required, or if there is any security breach issue, IT team or specifically a legal team is able to read or view that email or attachments. For example, okay, before I further move ahead, so any file which is created, and if it is shared externally, you will be able to track that email using the investigation tool. So it gives you the full bunch of access, full bunch of feasibility, I would say, that what action you need to take. Let's say I have created a file and I have shared across 100 students. I wanted to make sure that the owner of that file is changed as an IT admin, and all the users' access is being removed without notifying the end users. So I will be able to identify that file. I will be able to take an action. I will be even able to see which user has which particular permission available onto that particular file, and accordingly I will be able to take an action on that. Date of creation, who owns, who has viewed that file, all of that thing is available within the investigation tool. Same with the Gmail logs. So even Gmail logs and Gmail events both can be tracked within the investigation tool. When I talk about the events, like for example, there is an email which is being sent across the institution or outside the institution or domain, and you wanted to track it out. That particular event, you can track it out using the Gmail log events. And apart from that, if you wanted to do a normal email log search, like somebody has reported that I'm not able to view a particular email in my inbox, but it was being sent. So you can check when that particular email was sent, and if it is not delivered, what is the reason behind that. So both of the functionalities are available within the investigation tool itself. Same with the phishing and malware emails. First, with the help of the dashboards, and if any of the email has landed the end user mailboxes and the IT team or the management has identified that email and they wanted to take a preventive action, they can identify, delete that email, or make it or mark it as a spam as well. Another feature is a security sandbox. So a lot of time it happens that external user is able to send email with an attachment which is suspicious, which is malware in nature, and that can cause disruption within your environment. So those kind of attachments can be scanned through a security sandbox, which is, you can say, a sandbox environment within Google. So if somebody is sending an email, that attachment is opened within that virtual environment, and if it is suspicious, if it is malware in nature, it is not forwarded to the end user mailbox. You can define if you wanted to create if you wanted to make sure all the attachments are being scanned using the security sandbox feature, or you wanted to only scan few of the external emails which are coming. So all those rules you can create specifically. So if you wanted to apply this particular email on all the mail or on all the emails which are coming, or you wanted to apply only on the external emails which are coming, so you have that functionality and feasibility available within the sandbox environment. It basically helps you if there is any zero-day malware which is being sent or circulated, and in the form of a Word or a PowerPoint or a PDF, and any attachment which is being sent. So security sandbox actually identifies and does not let that attachment reach the end user mailboxes. And there is a possibility that if in case uh, there is any email which was coming with a specific attachment, and that email is being delayed in receiving to the end user, so there is a possibility that that particular email was getting scanned into the sandbox environment. And this happens if the email attachment was large, so there is a possible delay of 2 to 3 minutes, possibly, if that email attachment is containing any malware or suspicious attachment. Apart from that, a lot of times, a lot of schools or a lot of institutions ask for if there is a possibility we can view the usage of how our classrooms are consuming the assignments, how the classes are being conducted, how many assessments were given, and if there is a specific dashboard. So one of the dashboard which I showcased previously, it was a reporting dashboard. It was available from the security stand, and this particular dashboard I'm talking from the where the reporting section gives you the data for past 6 months, but you can export the reporting data for within the BigQuery, and you can create an attractive dashboards using the Looker Studio. So this gives you the functionality to view your classroom, your institution data into a more attractive format where you can modify the dates, you can take preventive measures, or you wanted to see how many classes were conducted from a specific period of time. All these things happen from a BigQuery standpoint where you can export the logs. I will showcase into the demo how it can be done and where the data is being visualized and how it is visualized. Definitely based on the requirement, you can customize the Looker Studio so that it is something which you are looking for. Uh, how many assessments were being taken for a specific class, how many users attended that particular session, how many classes are available within an institution. All those data based on your requirement can be configured using a SQL query. And based on that, you can create a Looker dashboard uh, for your institution. Again, it syncs the data on a daily basis, and you will get a real-time output onto that particular dashboard, and it can be used as a reporting as for your partners, for your management to visualize the classroom data itself. Okay, I'll again quickly jump onto the demo. Yeah, please help me out with a thumbs up if everyone is able to see my admin screen. Thank you everyone. Okay, so we are going to start with the investigation tool. So again, in order to go to the admin console, admin.google.com. This is your main page. So in order to go to the investigation tool, in the left pane, security, under security center, you need to go to the investigation tool. Okay, so this is the investigation tool which is available. When I was talking about different events that you can track, so these are the different events that you can track. Like if there is an admin log events, if there are multiple admins within the organization or institution, you wanted to track what configurations or what changes are being made. You can track it using the admin log events, assignment log events, calendar. So what we are going to do is I am going to quickly go to the drive log events, and let's quickly search for any files which was shared externally. So I have selected the event as drive log events. In the secondary condition, I'm going to come here in the next condition, and I'm going to click on the visibility, and visibility is shared externally. So if I click on the search, so I will get the list of the files which are shared externally and which user has what kind of permission onto that particular file. Okay. So these all are the files. In the title, you're able to see the name of the files. And sorry. Okay. So these are the different kind of files which are available, which are shared externally with different users. Uh,
Earlier community. You look at it. Sorry.
uh, I would request.
Mhm. Mahatma Gandhi was born on second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the different files which are available, which are shared externally, and you will be able to track it down like it is shared with whom. So let's say this particular file, slides 1.2. If I scroll to the right, I'm able to see that this particular file is being shared with this user, which is a Gmail ID. This is an external user. And same with the subsequent files. Same file is being shared with other users as well, which is an Outlook ID and an Yahoo ID. So let's say I wanted to view this particular file and wanted to check what kind of permissions are given to every user. So I first and the foremost thing, I can quickly remove users from those particular file, but let's audit the permission first of all. So if I click on audit permission, so I'm able to see the file as this. I'm able to see that the owner of this particular file is TBD, and it is shared with these three users. I can simply select all these three users and I can remove the access if I wanted to. If I wanted to, let's say it's a legit file and I wanted to take an action and I wanted to give edit access to somebody, I can do that. If I wanted to remove a specific user from this file, I can do that as well. So this level of granularity you get where you will be able to check permission, where you will be able to take action on the permission of that particular file. This is the file grid view we are able to see. If I click on the people, so you will be able to see the people view directly here. If that particular file is existing within any shared drive, you will be able to get the information from here. If that particular file is being shared as a link, you will be able to see that particular link, and with whom it is shared, you will be able to see that as well. Where we share the file, like anyone with the link will be able to access the file. So you will be able to see that information here. And if there are any pending changes, you will be able to see in that console. So coming back to here, let's say I wanted to remove access to this particular user. I'll click on this, remove access, and save. So this is done. So the user access is removed. External user access is removed successfully from that particular file. Similarly, right now what I've done is I have created only a single condition where I'm able to see multiple files. Let's say I wanted to go another condition and I'll mention the title as slides 1.2 and I click on search. So now all the files that I will be able to see will be related to slides 1.2 only. So these are the 4 files which were shared. So I'm able to see, and I have taken an action as well, which is recorded here, that I have removed this particular user from this particular file. So I will be able to view that as well. If I wanted to take further look at the attribute values, like when it was created, what is the document ID, what is the title, what is the type of the file, all that event, it comes under the log details. If there is anything further that can be used in the auditing purpose or that is required by the institution, that can be tracked here. Okay. Now let's quickly get back, and I'll again get back to the investigation tool. And now let's quickly make a search for email events. Okay. So my data source will be Gmail log events. I'll go to the condition and I'll traffic sources, let's say external. And I click on search. So I will be able to view all the emails whose traffic was external, which were sent being outside of your organization or being received from outside of the organization. So these two I was doing some testing, so the email came from the appsheet. So it's an external domain considered to mine. So it is showing as event is received, and I received two emails. And all other events, if you're able to see, it is showing me that test email 6542. These are all sent outside the organization, and the from address is teacher, and it is being sent to these addresses. So let's quickly drill down one of the emails. Let's click on this test email 6. Okay, before I get into this, let's select another condition. Okay, so now I have three emails which were sent outside the organization to three users: Outlook, Yahoo, and to one of the external Gmail addresses. So I can take the actions directly. I can delete these messages from inbox of the owner. I can mark this as a phishing email, mark as spam. If these emails are already deleted, I can restore these emails to the inbox. And if I want, I can send these emails to the quarantine as well. One thing. Secondly, I wanted to take a look at these emails, what was inside that. So I'll click on this email. I get into this uh, where I'm able to drill down more in terms of from where it came, and what is the message ID, and all other records of that particular email. So it is the subject, to whom it was sent, and who was the sender. Let's say I wanted to take a quick look at the message. So if I click on message, so it asks me justify the business needs to view this email. That is the thing I was talking about. Like if I'm even an admin, my logs are also getting recorded. That if I'm not unnecessarily reading anybody's email, it is only as per the legitimate business purpose that we are required to read somebody's email. So let's say test. I'll click on confirm. So I will, if there is any content, I will be able to view the content of that email. So since there was no content, it was simply sent with the subject. So this is something you're able to see. I can delete, restore, mark as spam, and all other actions that you were able to see from the main page. You will be able to do it from here as well. If you click on the thread, you will be able to see if there is any response that happened. Otherwise, this email was sent to how many users, you will be able to directly see. If this email was sent individually or in a single email to all three users, you will be able to track it from here. So this email was sent today in the morning around 11:10 a.m. And subject of this email is this, label is sent, and to these three users in a single email. This level of granularity you get with the investigation tool, where you can take action and you can delete the email if required. So I simply type delete one message, so that email is deleted successfully. So this is how you can use the investigation tool in order to drill down a drive event, in order to drill down the email log event, and identify any security breach, and in order to take a preventive action. Definitely, this is going to be a helpful tool from educational standpoint, and to make sure if any of the content is not shared which is inappropriate, and respective action is taken in time onto that particular file or email. So it is completed, delete message action is completed successfully. And this is how we are able to take action such as delete on a drive file as well as on an email as well. Okay, I'll quickly stop sharing from here, and I'll again reshare my. Please, again, with a thumbs up, please confirm if you are able to see my screen back once again. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So what all we have covered security, health, security dashboard, investigation tool, email log events, drive log events, all this part we have covered successfully. Now, okay, I think I missed out one. So sorry. Okay, let me know if my admin screen is visible again. So by default, after 60 minutes, the admin account gets locked out automatically just from the security standpoint, and we cannot modify that. So again one of the good feature. So I was talking about the security sandbox. So this is the setting that I was talking about, which is available under Gmail, under Google Workspace apps Gmail, and you're able to see the security sandbox feature. So if I'm going to it's off currently. If I'm going to turn it on, it will be turned on, and you get further options to create rules out of it. So if you want to create a rule, like if it should affect the inbound emails or internal receiving emails, you will be able to configure that, and what action you need to take. If you wanted to run the security sandbox feature on that particular email, you will be able to do that. If you wanted to exclude any specific address or domains, you can do that, or you wanted to apply this particular configuration onto any specific address or domain, you will be able to do that using this sandbox rule. If you do not configure, it's going to apply it for all the users of the organizational unit. Second thing I was talking about the just give me a second. So sorry, I'm just jumping onto the second option. Just give me 1 second. Again, let me know if my screen is visible. I am coming back to my slide screen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So this is one of the pre-populated dashboard that I wanted to showcase first of all. Like I wanted to gather feedback, like how it looks like. Like this is a Google Classroom activity report where you are able to see a view for the teachers, a view for the students, class, and information related to that. It's all the description. So if I go to the overview, I'm able to see the active users by role, how many active teachers for a specific time, like February 18 to Feb 24, how many active students were there, and total active percentage, how many assignments were being published, and how many assignments were returned within the class, timeline of all classroom activities. So you're able to see that as well. If I quickly go to the teachers dashboard, how many assignments were published, graded, ungraded, and all the details that you might be looking for can be created using the BigQuery export and Looker dashboard. So this is a Looker dashboard, which is fetching the data from the BigQuery export itself. Again, you can modify the data based on your requirements. If you wanted to view, let's say you have multiple schools within one single tenant, you can modify that. You can only view the data for only a single OU. If you wanted to take a look for the entire OU structure, you can do that as well. If I go to the students tab, you will be able to view how many, like specifically from student standpoint, how many assignments were returned, how many were late submitted, and if you wanted to apply any filter out of that, you can do that as well. These are few of the users who returned the assignments on time and few of the late submissions as well. So how you can configure this within your demo environment. So let's quickly get back to the admin console. I'll okay. Is my screen visible again? So sorry. My admin screen. Thank you, everyone. So again, admin.google.com. This is my homepage. I'll quickly go to the reporting section. I'll go to BigQuery export. So every data which is available within your reporting section, it is for last 90 days, or if there is any additional data, that is going to be for 6 months maximum. So BigQuery export helps you to export your data into one of the buckets, buckets, which is created into the GCP console. So you have to create a project within your Google Cloud platform. You have to define the project ID over here, and then you can export the reporting section logs from your Google Workspace to BigQuery. So if I quickly go to my I'm just trying to log into my GCP console. Just 1 minute. Okay. So this is my GCP console where I have already created a project reporting uh, Google Workspace logs, and that is the same ID I have defined here. So all the data of Google Workspace related to reporting uh, is being exported to BigQuery platform. How will you view the BigQuery export? So if you go here and under the BigQuery, and if you click on the BigQuery dashboard studio, so you are able to see your reporting section over here, and it is collecting all the logs. So if I click on the activity, so these all are different kind of reporting logs that are being captured into your BigQuery. I do not have much logs available, but once you start exporting the data and you define your sync time, with the help of the SQL queries, you can export your BigQuery dashboard data, BigQuery export data into the Looker Studio, which I've quickly showcased in the slideshow. Okay, I'll stop sharing from here. I'll resume sharing in the slides. So that was all about the BigQuery export, like how you can set up, how you can, where you will be able to see all the reporting section, how much reporting data is being exported to the BigQuery, and using the SQL queries, you can create and segregate your data that is required. For example, you wanted to view only the Gmail data, you wanted to view only the classroom data. All those data you will be able to view, and you can export and create a Looker dashboard studio that is similar to this, where you will have a quick overview related to the classroom, Gmail, anything which you are looking for from the reporting standpoint. Okay, coming back to the slides. So automatically populate department groups. That now we are going to talk about the dynamic groups. So when we have a large amount of users within an institution or organization, we wanted to make sure that we segregate the users in the form of different groups that are created, so that it's easy to communicate with them and easy to send notifications, communications, emails, and we should be able to maintain those groups. So let's say I have created a I've created a group of 1,000 users. I don't want it to maintain that group again and again. So let's say 10 users again joined within the institution. I don't want it to manually add them. That's where dynamic groups falls into the picture, where based on the attributes value, based on a specific parameter, those users gets added into a specific group that we have created. It not only helps you to populate the groups on time, but it definitely minimizes the admin effort to manually, monitor all the users and manage and add the user to the groups again and again. So dynamic groups automatically adds the users if a certain criteria is met. So you can create the dynamic groups and manage the membership automatically. Once you have created, you do not need to again recheck again and again, because if the criteria is meeting, let's say I have defined if the location of the user is A, so it should be added into the group A. So they will be, if any new users join the institution, and if I have defined the location as A, it will automatically be added to the dynamic group, which is group A. This helps you to keep the groups up to date, and based on a membership query you create, and The same dynamic group can be used as an email in the distribution list and as a collaborative inboxes as well as in order to distribute permissions using a security group. A lot of time it happens like so now I'm going to talk about the target audience. So a lot of time it happens is I wanted to share something with a specific team within my institution or organization, but by mistakenly I share it with another set of people, or I'm not aware how many people are actually existing within that particular team. So target audience comes into that picture where you have to make sure that any document that you're creating, let's say you wanted to make sure management gets access to all those documents automatically. So there is a target audience that gets created where all the management members are automatically added. So while you are sharing any file, you get a sharing option. So you get the third functionality if you wanted to share with the management audience itself. So here the target audience helps you out to improve security so that the files are not shared outside the organization or with the wrong set of people, and definitely it reduces the potential risk of accidentally sharing the files. Again, when you're creating the target audiences, you can use the dynamic groups. You need not to add the members again and again. So yeah, let's say in the management, I have management of 4 different locations. I have 4 dynamic groups created. I can simply add 4 dynamic groups to the target audiences. Again, I will quickly showcase in the demo the target audience, how it looks like, what is the query that we create, and it can be applied to Google Drive, Docs, and Chat. And this is one of the common use cases that we receive, like my staff accidentally sharing documents with our entire organization, and all that document is actually sensitive in nature. So how it can be limited to a smaller or a more relevant group.
Ankur, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Edward sir and Chavitam are saying that they're not able to see the screen. Okay, perfect, good. Can you please pin the screen? Yeah. All right. Sorry, Ankur. You're good to go.
Yeah, is it visible now?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It was visible. Maybe they wouldn't have pinned. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. So whosoever faced the problem related to the screen, so I just discussed about the dynamic groups, how you can automate the addition of users into the groups using a specific criteria or query. And second thing I was talking about, how you can secure your environment and your users do not share potentially sensitive content with the larger audience or with the wrong set of people. So you can create a target audience which they will be able to see while sharing the document. They will get a third option, and they can simply select, and the document will be shared with that particular target audience or specific team. That target audience functionality is available within Google Drive, and you can apply it on Drive, Docs, and Chat as well. Related to manage storage across your domain, a lot of time it happens is one of the users, if there is storage not allocated to all the users, a lot of time it happens one of the users is utilizing a storage for keeping their personal stuff, and it at the end impacts the domain. So manage storage across your domain helps you to define a storage quota across different OUs. For example, I wanted to give my students only 5 GB of storage. However, I wanted to give my teachers 10 GB of storage to securely keep the documents or the reading material. So I can create those storage pods, I would say, within my domain, and it can be applied on a specific OU. It helps you to reduce, I would say, unauthorized access of the storage, and making sure that one of the account is not utilizing the entire storage by any chance by keeping their personal stuff over there. This particular storage access plan can be again applied to different OUs. It can be different for all the entire OUs, or you can segregate to the root OU, and you can override to the student OUs if required. Okay, I'll quickly jump onto this uh, my admin portal once again. Okay, again, with a thumbs up, if everyone can confirm they are able to view my admin portal. Thank you. So I was talking about the storage. So in the left pane, you are able to see the storage options available. Here you are able to view the entire how much storage is being utilized with my entire tenant and what are the storage settings you can manage. Users using the most storage you will be able to see here, and uh, any shared drive is utilizing the shared drive. So I'll click on manage. So this is if in case I have not implemented it, so every users will be able to use the pooled storage, the entire storage which is available to the institution. But let's say I wanted to implement like for my specific OU, like my dev OU, I wanted to implement the 10 GB plan. I can do that. And let's say my classroom OU, I wanted to implement a 5 GB plan. I can do that as well. So I can segregate the usage criteria, and based on the usage, I can increase or decrease, and I can give a limited access of storage to my users so that it it is being utilized securely, and nobody is able to misutilize the storage which is provided for the personal stuff. Same can be done for the storage limit for the shared drive as well. You can define a specific storage limit for specific shared drives, and again it can be applied on the OUs as well. Okay. Okay, I'll quickly come to the groups. I was talking about the dynamic groups. So you have to go to the directory groups and you are able to see the create dynamic group over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on create dynamic group, and I'm able to see that there is a condition that comes up. So what I'm going to do, I've created few users and I've defined the department. However, you get the functionality of multiple attributes from starting from country, address, region, and what is the custom email type, if the mailbox is provisioned or not, anything. You can take any attribute and based on that, you can create the dynamic group. So I'm going to quickly go to the department, and let's say I have defined department as a network department within my institution. So I've defined the query users organization exist and org department is network. And let's quickly click on preview. So I'm able to see how many users I do have. I'm able to see I do have test user 7 and test user 9. Let's say I wanted to discover how many users I do have with the department admin. So I'm able to see that test user 11 and test user 1 are part of the admin group. So same, based on that, if I wanted to see how many users are within the transport group, so I'll simply click on preview. Before creating the group, I get this functionality to quickly preview how many users are part of the group, so that I do not mistakenly create a group and after that later on get into the deletion phase. So once I click on that, I will be able to provision the group, create a dynamic group. It will ask me for the name. I'll simply define transport. And that's it. So once I save it, so this particular group will get created successfully. So I have two members, test user 5 and test user 6 within this. And this group will automatically be updated from time to time, and you will be able to see the status over here. If you wanted to edit the membership query, you can do it from here. If you wanted to modify the access settings are similar to the normal groups that you create, but you can define it here. If you want to delete it, you can delete it. I'll quickly again go back to the admin console. Now I'll come to the target audiences. So if I click on create a target audience, so let's say I wanted to make sure that there is any specific document which is created related to the route of the transport. I wanted to make sure like it is shared with the transport team successfully, and it should not be shared with any other person. So I can create a transport audience. I can click on create, and in the members, I can define, let's say, transport, which is a dynamic group. So it eases my life. So I've added a dynamic group into the audience, and it automatically, as soon as my dynamic group gets updated, my my target audience will get updated automatically. I will click on add. Okay. I'll come up over here and I will apply it on one of the services. So where I have to apply and which OU I have to apply. So here the target audiences, add target audiences. So it gives me the functionality. All the target audiences are available over here. I click on transport, I click on save, and that's it. I click on save. So it's part of the drive-in docs. So at any point of time, if somebody is trying to share a document, they will be able to get a. I'll try to see because a specific user is not added, but because I have different users added into that particular group, but I'll try to see if it gives me the option. Okay, so you're all able to see my screen with a blank document. If I click on share, so I'm able to see like it's owned by me, it's restricted, I can add any other member. So let's say I wanted to share with a specific audience. So it automatically comes up over here. I do not need to know who all people are in the transport. Similar to that, I can create a management group. I can simply, it will appear over here and I can simply select it and that's it. This particular document will be shared with them automatically. So it helps the end users not to share potential documents accidentally with the wrong set of people or accidentally with the external people, and it reduces the risk of confidential documents being shared across different users. Okay. Is my screen visible once again? My slide screen? Thank you. Thank you once again. Now let's proceed. So we have covered dynamic groups, target audiences, and the storage part as well. Now let's come quickly to the last part, which is AppSheet. However, we are running a little uh, late for the time, but I'll try to make sure I'm able to cover it up. So first and the foremost thing I would like to start with the AppSheet is a lot of people right now present over the call as well comes from a different background. Like somebody's from the IT background, somebody's from the development background, somebody's from the business background as well. And sometimes it becomes a challenge, when we talk about the app development. So it is not possible for somebody with a non-developer background. That's where the app sheet is being introduced by Google, which we call it as a no-code or a low-code application, where you get the functionality. If you have a logic, if you wanted to build an app, so everything is available. You just need to have a logic, and you will be able to create an app in no time. So, okay. So sorry, is any concerns? I'm just a second.
No, yeah, good, Ankur. We can
Okay.
get going. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was talking about AppSheet. So when we are from different backgrounds, so sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult when we are trying to build an app from a non-code or non-developer background. So it's not that easy as we think, because whenever we think about developing an app, so it goes through different phases. So first of all, scoping of the app, then going to the execution, then code development, then into the dev testing, and then it goes to the actual production. So if I go to the next slide, you're able to see three bubbles, I would say, three different colors. So unassisted apps are the apps which are sometimes required by the organization or institution, but due to the lack of IT team or due to the lack of availability, these apps are left unassisted. These can range from 20 to 1,000 or more than that, depending upon the size of the organization or institution. And that's where the Google App Sheet, that is the no code or low code platform, comes into the picture, where you get the functionality to create an app from an idea to the solution in just no time. Second phase of apps are available, which are the COE team assisted apps, which are mid complexity and mid risk apps, which have different integrations available and are being managed by the IT itself. And the core IT delivered apps are the apps which are core to the business, which are required to run the business with zero interruption time. So unassisted apps are sometimes left, I would say, non-entertained, and that's where the app sheet, no code, low code development comes into the face. So I was talking about like app sheet gives you the feasibility functionality to create an app from an idea to the solution. As I was talking about, like whenever you think of developing an app in a actual world environment, it goes through multiple phases from again from coding, from testing, and then to the actual solution. But AppSheet gives you this functionality. You can reduce this time to from idea to solution completely. You can customize, you can integrate it with multiple applications, as well as you get a centralized governance for that. And it's really that fast because we are going to get into the demo, and I will try to provision an app, a quick app. I will try to show you a basic app in less than 5 minutes for that. You can create a custom productivity tool. So what all you can do with the app sheet solutions, you can create custom productivity tools, you can automate the workflows, and you can uncover insights. So when I talk about the custom productivity tools, so for example, let's say you have created a leave management app and you wanted to make sure that somebody is applying a leave. So approval or notification is being sent to the end user as well as to the approver. So all kind of integration, this customization is available within AppSheet, and you are able to leverage that. When I talk about the automate processes, so let's say we all are working on one of the project, and there are different stakeholders for that. You wanted to make sure like you're not dependent on the email or chat approval while working on a project. So you can create an AppSheet app where you just completed your work within a project, and you initiated a workflow, and the approval, or you can say the next set of action, goes to the next stakeholder. Once they are done with that work, they can mark it as completed, and it goes to the next phase. So these kind of processes which are manual in nature, which are dependent on email or chat alerts, they can be automated with the help of a workflow or a process. Let's say you have data available with you and you wanted to view statistics around that. So you can do that as well. You can collect data through different applications, and you can combine it into an app sheet interface, and you will be able to discover insights out of that. It can be it can be into the graph format, histogram format. It can be into the any graph which is available as part of the app sheet. It will not that extensive to be a complete dashboard, but it will be able to give you the data that you're looking for. So AppSheet actually connects with different data sources. So you are able to see like we have spreadsheet, databases, APIs, and other platforms. When I talk about the spreadsheet, so you can use the Google Sheet and connect it to the AppSheet. You can use Excel from different applications. You can connect to different databases such as BigQuery, MySQL, and you can even utilize the APIs of in order to integrate like AppSheet and Smart Sheets, Airtable, in order to integrate. So that will act as a database where your actual data is getting stored, and you are able to see as an interface into your app sheet. The app sheet platform is very flexible. So when I say it is flexible, you can create an app that will automatically install. You need not to install. I would say these apps are not required to be installed, but these automatically scale. Like you need not to create an interface for mobile, tablet, and computer respectively. You just need to work on one application, and it will automatically fit to different layouts. So mobile, tablet, and laptops. You can use an app sheet to capture images. So if your work function allows that you need to capture images at any point of time, you can do that as well. You can make these apps to work offline. You can deliver the notification. You can accept signature. You can log the locations and many more. So when I talk about working with Google Workspace, so Google Workspace, when you create an app sheet and you utilize the Google Workspace ecosystem, you are able to make most out of it. For example, I'm creating an app where I'm utilizing spreadsheet as my database. I'm sending notification on email and chat, and if required, I'm connecting on Google Meet within my app sheet. So you will be able to make most out of it if you are using a Google Workspace complete ecosystem, because AppSheet is part of that. Okay, with that, I would say, like, let's jump onto the demo, or Karan, should we conduct demo next time?
Let's just quickly run through a demo. I think the amount of questions and anticipation is quite huge from the crowd regarding app sheets.
Okay,
Let's just run like a 5-minute demo of like a simple IT ticketing, give them an overview. I think that should help the team.
okay, just give me a second.
And in meanwhile, please submit your attendance. Customer feedback, attendance is very, very important for us as an organization. This is very critical for us as well. I would humbly request everyone to please submit your attendance.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just trying to load. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so in order to access the AppSheet platform, you simply need to go to appsheet.com. Okay, so you get different functionalities in order to create an app. You can create it with an existing data, with a template, with a blank app. And if you click on the template, you have multiple templates already available that you can leverage in order to create an app. Maybe a lot of applications template which are available. It may be meeting your requirements as well. So when I was talking about, okay, so sorry, you're not able to see the screen. Okay. So I was talking about these templates, which are already pre-populated, which are available. Definitely, it can be possible that any one of them can be meeting your requirements. So you can copy and start customizing, and you can leverage these templates in order to build an app. For example, an approval process, a simple survey, or kind of employee onboarding. So these kind of apps are already available. So you can create an app using an existing data with a template with a blank app, as well as you can create it with an idea where you just define your inputs, your requirements, and it's automatically start building your app. For example, you wanted to build an app related to assignments. Every user should have access to the assignment, so all that ideas you can quickly run over here and you will be able to build an app. So okay, coming back to the platform. So let's try to quickly build an app using one of the existing data. So I'm trying to build an ticketing app within a school. So whenever I talk about building an app within a school, so what are the basic attributes or basic requirements I do have? I want a unique ID that should be tracked as a ticketing ID. I require the roll number of the students. I require full name of the students, email address, what is the issue type they are facing, what is the department where this ticket should be routed, and what is the description of that ticket and the creation date. So with these attributes, which I have thought in order to create a ticketing app, let's quickly. So you can you can go to appsheet.com. You can create with an existing data from here as well, or you can come back here in the sheet itself in the extension and click on extension app sheet and create an app. Both of the ways will work the same way. So let's start with an existing data. Let's say we'll place it into the education, choose your data. So as soon as I click on that, so it starts building the app automatically. It start recognizing the attributes which I have defined because Google Sheet is currently acting as my database, and it creates a quick simulation of the app how it should look like. So this is the form, this is the unique ID which is getting generated. Again, automatically identify the by the app sheet, like this is the unique ID, this should be the ticketing ID, this is the roll number, full name, email, and you issue type, department. So it creates a general structure for me. Let's quickly go to customize with AppSheet. This is a simulator that you get all of the changes that you do here in these attributes. It starts reflecting over here. So what I have done is, if I go back to my sheet, so this is the student data, and I have another tab created where I do have the roll numbers of the students, full name, and their respective emails, so that every single detail is not required to be entered by the end users. Same when I talk about the department, I have already the issue types listed with their respective departments. So issue type, departments already listed. So let's quickly go to the app. So if I quickly go to data, I'm able to see under tables, I'm able to see that the ticket table is already imported within AppSheet. If I click on that and if I click on storage, so it is able to show me that this is the source path. This is the name of the sheet. This is the subsheet which I've created. So I need to, and same table is imported as a column to further make changes to the attributes. So all of the attributes which we have defined over there, they are reflecting over into the column section. These columns reflect as the input attribute within my app sheet. So I'll quickly go back into the tables. I do have two more tables available. I click on that student table. It's imported. And I have a department table and I imported that as well. Now I have all the three tables with me. Now let's quickly build a logic. So row number is perfectly fine. It is automatically generated with wherever there is an attribute with underscore at the starting. So it is a system generated attribute automatically. Key is the unique value which helps you to identify a specific attribute within your ticketing system or any other uh, application that you're creating. So let's say I wanted to map uh, issue type. So issue type should be a text instead of a yes no. Department should be a text. Description should be a long text, and creation date should be the date. If we wanted to track the time as well, we can do that. Otherwise, date is okay. If we wanted to apply any formula related to any formula which is available within Google Sheets, we can do it from here. If we wanted to hide any of the attributes from the end user, we can do that as well. Any of the attribute that should not be editable by the end users, we can uncheck it from here and it will be done. What are the required attributes? We can check or uncheck from here. Initial value is something which we automatically wanted to make sure that as and when the user logs in or somebody is accessing the app, these kind of values are initially filled automatically with the available data. If we wanted to change the display name of any of the attribute, I can define it over here. If I wanted to define any description, I can do that over here. If this particular attribute, which I have defined in my ticketing tool, it should be searchable or non-searchable, I can select it from here. Let's say I wanted to make sure that if there is any attribute where there is a scanning required, I can enable it and they will be able to do a scanning of that particular code as well. If the mobile supports the NFC, we can create that as well. And if any of the data, which is, I would say, personally identifiable information, that is PII, so we can make that as well by clicking on that to make sure that that data is not locally stored on the sheets. Now I'll cancel it. I'll quickly map. And let's say I'll go to the roll number. I'll go to the data validity. So I wanted to map the roll number, which is in my tickets, with the roll number in my student data. So I quickly click on insert and it's saved. And I wanted to map the full name again with my student database so that the student need not to enter the data again and again. They simply need to identify the roll number and it's done. And again, email also I'm fetching from the data validity from the available data. So I'll simply select email, save, done. For issue type, I already have a issue type and department created. Like, let's quickly select that as well. So in the issue type, I'm going to fetch the data from a department table. I'll click on save, it's done. And the department should also be fetched from the department table. And that's all, it's done. I'll click on save. It should be updated. So let's say I click on plus symbol and let's try to log a new ticket. So for example, I select the roll number as 10. So it automatically gives me the name as Ankur. I select that. I click on email. It automatically fetches my email as well. Is this correct? Yeah. I select that. Now what issue I'm facing? I'm facing issue with the keyboard or mouse, let's say. So I selected that. It automatically fetches that this particular issue is related to admin support. I simply mention new keyboard required, and that's all. It's the created date. I click on save, and that's all. My ticket is created. And if I get back over here in my sheet, I'm able to see a log entry over here. Same thing related to a UX. How should my app should look like? For example, if I wanted to make it as a ticket view, a deck view, I can do all that. These are the different kind of views available. If I click on the brand, how should my app look like? For example, it should be a light or dark mode kind of. What color I wanted to apply, what will be the logo of the app, and all this modification I can do it from here itself. Behavior of the app is when I wanted to make sure, I have added few of the buttons. If I wanted to make sure that the ticket task is completed and I wanted to make sure that there is a done button, I can integrate that as well. Instead of new action, I can mention it as completed and it will show me as a completed action. So it will be a button that will be available, which I can, which I can move it within the app as well. So it can be in line, it can be hidden, it can be a primary button here itself. So all that I can do from the behavior section. If I wanted to allow my data to sync offline as well, I can enable it from here so that the user, if they are logging any entry, they are able to do it offline. And as soon as the internet connection gets restored or they are connected to internet, they're able to sync their data. Automation, when I talk about, let's say, as soon as a new ticket is logged, I wanted to make sure a email notification gets routed to the support team so that from there, ticket manager can route the ticket to network, transport, admin, finance team. So I can create an automation from here. For example, email on new ticket record created. So as soon as a new ticket record is created, send an email. So if I click on that, I can send an email, I can send a notification, SMS, I can send a chat message, which is a Google chat message as well. I can do all this stuff. Let's say where I am actually wanted to watch all these changes. So I have 3 tables available, right? Department, student, tickets. So as soon as my ticket table data changes, then this notification should trigger. I can define whom this email should send to. So for example, I'll define Ankur, my email address, and that's it. I can define email subject like ticket record with the full name or any custom I can also. New ticket created, that's it. And email, I can define an HTML content or I can custom write the email as well. I can use the variables as well, which we have seen before. So any variable, for example, roll number variable, name variable, description, department, any variable we can use into the uh, uh, email text body. As soon as we create this alert, any new ticket which is created, an email notification will get generated and it will be sent to the respective stakeholder. Chat apps is something where you are not interacting with the app directly, but you are interacting with the app using a Google Chat. So you can we call it as a chat bot. So you can simply go to the app and you will be able to, with the help of the slash commands, you will be able to select the issue type, you will be able to describe the issue type, and all that thing can be done. When I talk about the security, how I wanted my users to sign in, like they require to sign in, they do not require, who will be the provider, Google, Microsoft, Apple, or anyone, and all signed in users are allowed to access this app or not. So all those security I can define it from here. If I have different locations, so let's say my school or institution is in 4 different locations within India, I wanted to make sure that a user from North region, when he logs in, he is able to view the departments and the people from North region only. From South, they are able to see only the South. So all those filters I can create over here, so that users who is location based, they are able to see only that location specific data. And at the end, I would say you can use Smart Assistant, which is again a voice command within the AppSheet app that you're creating. You can create a predictive model as well, where app automatically suggests you the next course of action. And after that, you can deploy the app. It will run for a few of the deployment checks. It will show you the warning error, and based on that, you will be able to deploy your app. I've already done the, already pre-populated the app. So it was only to showcase you all the attributes, major attributes. I'll quickly show you the one of the similar app which I've created today only for the demo purpose. So this particular app is deployed. And what I've done is, so we have already, like I have pre-populated data I've already created. So this is a ticket view where I'm able to see all the tickets. And I have made the home view should look like the department for whom the ticket is assigned, who raised the ticket, full name, and their roll number based on the school or institution. Here, I have defined the student repository so that if in case they wanted to view the contact details of the student, they can simply go here and they can view the email, roll number, and all additional details that we wanted to populate. So let's quickly do one thing. I'll quickly raise a new ticket, 18, and I'll select the email. I select the issue type is internet not working. Department will be network support, and network down. I click on save, and that's all. So I do have a ticket that got generated. And if I quickly go to my mail, so I should have a email for that as well. New ticket raised. This is the subject. 0 minutes ago. This is to notify that a new ticket is raised by roll number 18 for the support team of network support. The name and email ID of the requester is this. We can customize each and everything that is required, and the app will somewhat look like this. You can spend a lot of time on the logic building and beautification of the app, but this is something how you can build an app quickly. With that, I'll quickly stop sharing, and thank you for listening and patience throughout the session. And I will try to take a look at all the concerns that are being raised. And over to you, Karan.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. I think that was quite an in-depth session about app sheets and also security. All right. So now the success is in the pudding, where we'll have a live quiz. Please keep your mobile handy. I'm going to flash a QR code. You need to scan this QR code. And then, as I stated, it's the fastest finger first. The winner gets a Google swag, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me share my screen. I share my screen. All right, is the screen visible?
Yes, Karan.
Perfect. All right. Please open up a Google Lens. This quiz is exclusively for non-Google employees, please. I see Isha also getting into a mobile, but yeah, if you win, I wouldn't give you anything, but yeah, right? So all teachers, faculties, please open Google Lens, scan this QR code, and I can see people joining in 19, 20, 21, 22 people joining in, 24. Please key in your name as well. It comes without some fancy names. When Ankur and myself were testing it, Ankur name appeared as Sebastian, so I was a little unsure. So please ensure that you give a name that you can remember, because if you are the winner, we need to identify you, right? So this is really fun. This quiz is fun. So it's going to test of everything that you've grasped now. As I stated, so it's now teach the teacher model. Basically, let's test the teachers now. Right, I see only 40 joining in. We have a full house of about 91 people here. So this quiz is fun. There are only 5 questions. Each question gets 15 seconds for you to answer. So the person who has the fastest finger who can just answer it, the questions will come on the mobile screen. So please don't turn off, like it shouldn't dim or something. The questions appear on your mobile screens and it wouldn't appear on this one. It will show only instructions at the moment. Yes, I'm waiting for everybody to join, Mr. Akhil. There are another 40 people, 40, 45 people to join this session. $50. You've crossed 50. This quiz will be really fun, right? And we are going to do this for the next 3 sessions as well, right? If you don't win now, don't get disheartened. You still have chance for the next 3 sessions as well. 55, 56, 57. Awesome. The questions wouldn't appear yet. I'll have to drive the questions. I'm waiting for everybody to join this to make it much more interactive. 64 people have joined. We have another 26 people waiting to be joined. All right, once when it reaches 70, I'm going to start the questions in the interest of the audience, the larger set of audience as well. It's 65, 66. Yeah, there are no instructions. Please wait. As I'm stating, these are the instructions. The next screen that comes is the question. You will have 15 seconds. The options appear within your web application that you have opened, menti.com, with this particular code. You could see people joining in. So questions do appear on your screen, right? So don't please lock your phones. You would miss the opportunity. Don't refresh your the browser, all of it. All right, I think we are one just short of 70. At 70, I'm going to start the quiz. Perfect. All right, 71. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm going to wait for another minute. What do you see? Screen not visible when joining. You would at least see like a menti.com with your name. Okay, I'm going to start the quiz now. So 3, 2, 1, start. Right. So there are about 66 players ready, 67 players ready, 68 players ready. And I see somebody else joining now, 67. Awesome. Players are walking out, coming in. This looks interesting. Perfect. I can see an amalgamation of all different icons that we could see. 66 players ready. All right. So let's get started. The first question is here, right? Answer fast to get more points. Where does Gmail scan attachments for threads? You would see the options on your mobile phone. Please choose one of them from the options that you see. You only have 15 seconds to answer, right? That's the rate, the fastest finger first. All right. The right answer is Security Sandbox. Let's see who's the leader here. This is interesting. Mr. Ajay, right? Ajay K. All right. So next one, be ready for the second question. All right, the 67 players ready. I'm gonna flash the second question. Answer fast to get more points. Can a GW administrator leverage investigation to identify and delete emails for user inboxes, right? So if you had paid attention, the answer is right in front of you, right? As I stated earlier, all these questions are sifted out from those slides that we speak about. All right, time's up. Good. Majority of them have the right answers. Let's see who's the winner, who's leading it. Is it Ajay or Tweeto? Let's see who's running. I think Ibrahim Muhammad, who's surprised us. Let's see who's winning. Right, Ajay K is still leading, and there's a new entrant, Aftab, who's the fastest here. Right, perfect. The third question, 68 players ready. Let's start, 69. Google provides recommendation of security posture of your Google Workspace environment in security help page. Yes or no? Right, 66 people have answered, 62 people have answered. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da, it ends, right? Pretty good, pretty impressive. I see a majority of the stakeholders are answering it rightly, which is good, which means that we have done justice to the sessions, right? Let's see who's the fastest, who's leading. Is it Ajay? Is it Aftab? Okay, where did Isha come from? All right, Isha, I wouldn't give you anything here, but yeah. So let's see who's winning. All right, Isha has come up first. Even though she wins, she's not going to get the prize, right? So Ibrahim, Ajay, you just drop down to third spot. Let's make it fast. All right, the question 4. 67 players ready. What is Google's low-code, no-code platform called? Pretty straightforward, simple. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pretty good. AppSheets is the right answer. Let's see who's the leaders, who are the leaders on the board, who's winning, who's the fastest. All right, Twitter is the fastest. I think Neelam came back, Ajay came back, which is good. All right. So the last question, it's in your hands to win. Let's see who's going to win. The last question. Can Google Workspace for Education admin track abusive material being shared? Yes or no? 15 seconds. You have 15 seconds. I see 52 people. The numbers growing in who are answering it right or wrong. Three, two, one. All set. Pretty good. Yeah. So let's see who's on the leaderboard now. Who's winning? Right. Who's coming up? Who's leading it? All right, Ajay. Ajay is the winner. Ajay, please recognize yourself.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you share your details to us so that we know who are representing your email ID? That will be definitely helpful for us. So yeah, Ajay, a big round of applause. Let's go celebrate. That's quite.
Thanks a lot.
Please don't get disheartened. We still have 3 quizzes to win, and it's quite exciting, right? All right, with that, we come to the end of the session. Over to you, Isha.
Great. What a lovely session. Thanks, Karan.